Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Automatic Wealth, The 6 Steps to Financial Independence by Michael Masterson, narrated by Rick Rowan. This book is copyrighted 2005 by Michael Masterson. This recording is copyrighted 2006 by Recorded Books. If you're worried about getting burned by financial programs that promise you'll get rich quick through unlikely stock tips or high-risk trading strategies, and don't have the patience to invest in a savings plan that takes 30 or 40 years to take advantage of the miracle of compound interest, then listen further, because this is the right book for you. And now, Automatic Wealth.
Preface. Who am I, and why are you listening to this book? Who doesn't want to be rich, or at least more financially secure than they are now? As Gertrude Stein once famously said, "I've been rich and I've been poor. It's better to be rich." And so have I, from dead broke to worse, and then from okay to affluent to more than enough. I've done many jobs in my working life. My first job, drying rear windows in a car wash, paid me $1.75 an hour. Nowadays, I can't be tempted to work for less than 500 times that amount. In this book, you'll learn what I learned along the way, that it's not hard to become as wealthy as you want to be, as long as you are willing to follow 6 simple steps. I've been a busboy, bartender, house painter, carpenter, bouncer, aluminum siding salesman, soda fountain jockey, teacher, copywriter, and tinsmith. I've also owned and run many businesses, including a pool installation service, a nutritional supplement company, a venture capital firm, at least a dozen publishing houses, a discount jewelry outlet, a dozen direct marketing enterprises, 2 public relations practices, a career counseling service, at least a half-dozen real estate development ventures, a fine art dealership, and a rare coin brokerage, just to name a few. I've been a partner in 2 businesses that grew beyond $130 million and a dozen that surpassed the $10 million mark, and have more recently mentored friends and colleagues in the successful startups of $6 or $8 million companies. I've owned and run public and private companies, local and international, retail and wholesale, profit and not-for-profit. I've done all that, and other jobs I'm sure I can't remember, or don't want to think about. What I haven't done is run a large, i.e. Fortune 1000 corporation. I don't think I've even worked for one. My expertise is in starting and developing small businesses, and I've had a good deal of success with startup real estate ventures and investing in small business and real estate. I'm not a stockbroker, insurance salesperson, or financial planner. I've never had any formal training in finance. Everything I know has come from the experience of my working life. That means you won't find much here that is conventional financial planning. I'd like to think that what I lack in formal education, I've made up for in a depth and range of business experience that spells practical, proven advice. So, when you consider my credentials, take into account the sheer scope of my experience. Be assured that the advice I give you in this book comes from that experience. Also keep in mind my Rolodex, the contacts I've made and the people I've known. I am lucky to have worked with some true money-making and business-building geniuses. I've listened to them and observed their actions. I'll pass on everything I've learned from them to you. And finally, I must admit to a love of teaching. Before I began my business career, I taught a graduate course at Catholic University in Washington, D.C., and then was an assistant professor of English language and literature at the University of Chad. This teaching impulse has never left me. It erupts in product presentations, coaching sessions with protégés, and speeches, and I'm sure it's evident in the pages that follow. If I get a little preachy, please forgive me. I'm also an avid student. Every experience I've had in my career has taught me something, and everything I've learned about making a good income and converting it into lasting wealth is detailed in this book. Introduction. Boca's Story, an unexpected lesson in automatic wealth. My jiu-jitsu instructor, Boca, taught me a new grappling technique. It took most of an hour to learn, drilling over and over again. Boca understands, as all good teachers do, the difference between comprehending a skill and possessing one. Until this technique becomes an automatic, effortless response, it is useless. So even after I told him, "I've got it," he made me repeat the move, 10 times to the right side, 10 times to the left side, back and forth, and then in training. I was dripping sweat, heart pounding, lungs heaving, mentally and physically spent. Boca, on the other hand, looked like he'd been lounging the whole hour, not a hair out of place. While I caught my breath, Boca leaned back against a wall mat, smiling at me. "Hey, Michael," he said, "what is a good work for me to make a lot of money?" "Like how much money?" I asked. "Like you, my friend. I want to be rich, like you." Boca's English isn't perfect, but he gets his point across perfectly well. He is 30 years old, he reminded me. He has only 2 or 3 years left to fight professionally. "Now is my time to look around," he said, cupping his hands around his eyes like binoculars, "to see what there is for later on." Why learning how to build wealth is like learning jujitsu. I like Boca so much as a teacher and as a friend that I want to give him the secret of getting rich in a single 1-hour lesson, but I can't. I can explain a few concepts. I can even tell him, in an abbreviated way, what I consider to be the most important things he must do. But an hour's worth of talk won't make him wealthy, any more than a single hour of jujitsu with him will make me a black belt grappler. But what could I do? I told him a little bit about the 6-step automatic wealth program I had developed, and mentioned that I would give him a copy of the book I was writing, this book, as soon as it was published. Meanwhile, I challenged him to think about wealth building like jujitsu. "You are a great teacher," I told him. "In a single hour you can teach me many things. You can teach me your best takedown technique, your favorite choke, the latest armbar or footlock. You can do all that, and probably even tell me some of your top secrets about being successful at jujitsu too. But for that I must charge you a lot of money." He was smiling. "Yes, you would, and you should. But if you gave me such a class, and I paid you whatever you asked for it, would you then give me a black belt?" "Well, no, my friend. You get the black belt only when you can do. And to be able to defeat white belts and blue belts and purple belts and even brown belts, what must I do?" "You must practice, my friend. For that, you must practice." Becoming wealthy takes time, but not as much time as you think. Boca had arrived at the point I was trying to make. Becoming wealthy is not about discovering some secret or stumbling upon a pot of gold. You won't get rich by playing the lotto or even searching for that 1,000-to-1 internet stock. Becoming wealthy is a matter of planning and practice, of setting specific goals and pursuing those goals with specific actions. Changing into an automatic wealth builder is about changing habits, and changing habits takes time. "But I don't have too much time," Boca protested. "My wife needs a home, and my babies want one day to go to college." "And so you'd like to be rich by next Tuesday," I answered. He smiled again and nodded. I told Boca I couldn't do that for him, but I could show him how to become wealthy before his children graduated from high school. All the other young parents you know right now will still be struggling to get their bills paid, and they'll be worried about paying for college, but you will be financially independent. You'll have no debt, the college bills will have been prepaid, and you'll be able to kick back and work less, or even retire whenever you want. His face brightened. "How does that sound?" I asked. "Becoming financially independent in 7 to 15 years. Would you be happy with that kind of time frame?" He grinned. Your fast track to financial independence. If, like Boca, you're willing to invest 7 to 15 years in the task of becoming financially independent,
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.